Hi guys, welcome to another lecture, and today we'll be discussing something about basics of neonatal jaundice, just the basics. We'll not be going into detail. If you want to watch the detailed video, you can subscribe to my course in the my app, and you can also see it down in the description below. This lecture was requested by one of my follower on Instagram, Dr. Urvashi. Thank you so much for requesting this. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And please follow me on Instagram. I post questions every day there. And download my amazing app for the amazing NEET PG and INE set FMG and Residents Masterclass. And they are available at great discounts right now. So please do not miss the offer. Now, this neonatal jaundice, for understanding neonatal jaundice, the basic of the bilirubin metabolism has to be explained. So here the RBC release the hemoglobin, and this heme is converted into the biliverdin by the enzyme heme oxygenase, and this heme oxygenase is the rate limiting step. Limiting step. This is the rate limiting step which converts it into biliverdin, which is water soluble. This biliverdin is water soluble, while this unconjugated bilirubin, this unconjugated bilirubin is water insoluble, while conjugated bilirubin is water soluble. Okay, water soluble. Unconjugated is water insoluble. Now, these three enzymes are very important: heme oxygenase, biliverdin reductase, and UGT1A1. Okay, so the UGT1A1, this is a very important enzyme that is involved in the bilirubin metabolism, and I hope you know about it, that when the activity of this is the rate limiting step of the absorption, or the the absorption of the bilirubin in the newborn. Okay, so that is again very important. The steps are very important. Now this conjugated bilirubin will go to the enterohepatic circulation, and it will directly be absorbed back. Okay, now this UDP glucuronate, it can be converted into monoglucuronate, or it might be diglucuronate. Now, there are two terminologies that you understand. One is the unconjugated bilirubin, and second is conjugated bilirubin. Okay. Now, this conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin, when you measure the direct bilirubin, okay, when you measure direct bilirubin, when you go for a liver function test, and you have two terminologies, direct and indirect. So direct bilirubin is not equal to conjugated bilirubin. Okay, direct bilirubin is conjugated bilirubin plus delta bilirubin. There is also a variant known as delta bilirubin, and some amount of unconjugated bilirubin is also included in that, because there are some technical issues. But the main two components of the direct bilirubin is conjugated and delta bilirubin. So you always have to understand that the value of direct bilirubin is always higher than conjugated bilirubin. So that is the first takeaway lesson over here. Okay. Now, what is delta bilirubin? This delta bilirubin is the conjugated bilirubin which is covalently bound to the albumin. So that is again very important, and you have to understand the basics. Now, what are the definition of pathological jaundice? Pathological jaundice. What are the definition of pathological jaundice? So, jaundice which occurs in less than 24 hours of life. Okay. Then second is that presence of jaundice in arms and legs. Jaundice is on arms and legs, and not the palms, the arms. Okay, it is present in the arms and legs on within 48 hours of life. Or if there is presence of yellowing of palms and soles at any point, because palms and soles, the bilirubin has crossed the level 15 milligram per deciliter, and that beyond that level it gets pathologic, because there are multiple factors working over here. So yellowing of palms and soles, very important. Then serum bilirubin rise is more than 2 milligram per deciliter per hour if it is rising at this level, or if there are signs of bilirubin induced nerve damage. The older term was kernicterus, now it is called bilirubin induced nervous damage. Or if the Bhutani charts, the charts that we use, these are the age-related charts, or the values of bilirubin are plotted against the values of values of the days of life or hours of life. Okay, it is plotted against day of life or hours of life, the value of bilirubin. And if the Bhutani charts are showing that there is crossing, there are two lines in Bhutani chart. If you see, it is something like this. Then there are two lines. Okay, one line is this, and second line is uske upar. So first line is the phototherapy line. So when the level of bilirubin crosses the phototherapy line, you start phototherapy, and the second line is exchange therapy line. If it crosses that exchange therapy line, then it is, you have to go for exchange therapy. But crossing of phototherapy line is pathological. So you understand, this is the basics. Then there are two phenomena known as breast feed jaundice, which occurs in the first week of life, while there is something known as breast milk jaundice, which occurs in the second week of life. Second week of life. This occurs in second week of life due to a component known as delta 9 pregnenolone. Okay, so it occurs due to that. It was thought to occur due to that, and you do not have to stop breastfeeding if this is the cause. Also, a blood grouping, ABO incompatibility is a very important cause. ABO incompatibility is the most common cause of pathological jaundice. So ABO blood group is seen on chromosome 9. Okay, the RH blood grouping is seen on chromosome 1. And the third most important blood group system is the KEL system. And this KEL mismatch has the most severe jaundice. When there is a KEL blood group mismatch, this has the worst kind of jaundice, or the most severe jaundice. So most severe jaundice is caused due to KEL blood group mismatch and not RH blood group mismatch. So these are the features of pathological jaundice. And I hope you understood the basics of this. There are some syndromes: Krigler-Najjar. Okay, Krigler-Najjar. Now, what are the types? Type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is autosomal recessive, very severe, and there is usually you require a transplant. If you do not give the transplant, the patient dies. Type 2 is autosomal dominant, and it is moderate to mild. And this Krigler-Najjar occur due to abnormality in UGT-A1A. Okay. The second one, the important is Lucy-Driscoll. Lucy-Driscoll and Gilbert syndrome. Now, this both are also due to abnormality of, familial abnormality. Lucy-Driscoll is a familial abnormality. And Gilbert syndrome is again decreased UGT-A1A. There is decrease in the UGT-A1A, and this causes the unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia, while the Dubin-Johnson syndrome and Rotor syndrome will cause conjugated hyperbilirubinemia. How do you remember which cause conjugated hyperbilirubinemia? You might know the Iron Man hero, Robert Downey Jr., RDJ will cause conjugated hyperbilirubinemia. Rest all will cause unconjugated hyperbilirubinemia. So that is very, very important. Okay, so this is about the neonatal jaundice. Now, neonatal jaundice, what are the treatment? What are the treatment that you give? Treatments of phototherapy. Phototherapy is the mainstay. Phototherapy is given at 460 to 490 nanometer. And the distance is inversely proportional to irradiance. So efficacy, more the distance, less is the efficacy. So it is also inversely proportional to the efficacy. Okay, so that is again very, very important. What are the modes of action or methods of action via which phototherapy acts? So there is photo oxidation, structural isomerization, and photoisomer. Now, this photo-oxidation is the minimal activity. It is the least active component in which phototherapy works. Structural isomerism is the most effective, where lumirubin Lumilubin, which is water soluble, it's formed from the bilirubin, and photoisomer, the ZZ isomer of bilirubin is converted to ZE isomer. This is also another important MCQ, that ZZ is converted into ZE isomer. Now, if this doesn't work, you have to go for exchange transfusion, in which we change the entire volume of the blood with the other entirely donor blood, whole blood, and usually it is double volume exchange transfusion. We do we take the blood and we give the blood, we get an arterial line, we get a venous line, and we do exchange transfusion in those patients. Now, for in patients of Gilbert syndrome, one thing you need to remember is that in Gilbert syndrome, phenobarb has some role, because it upregulates the uptake. It upregulates the uptake of the bilirubin, and it also increases the metabolizing power of the liver for the bilirubin. That's all for today, guys. I hope you like the video. This was just a brief introduction to hyperbilirubinemia, and I hope you like this video.